It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Hit it.
To infinity and beyond!
Get off, Napoleon. Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
I know Kung Fu.
This is one doodle that can't be undid, Holmes Gillett.
And my axe.
This should be open because it's civil rights. This is the 90s.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
1.21 gigawatts!
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
Gucci.
Welcome to the KendallCast Movie Roundtable. I'm your host, Kendall. With me, as always, is Ian.
What's up?
And Nick.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, this was Ian's movie, right? We're talking about Patriot games.
That's right.
Ian, why'd you pick this movie?
I really like this movie. Obviously, I'm a bit of a Harrison Ford fan. I have picked several Harrison Ford movies. Recently, I picked The Fugitive. I think he's great in this film. There are a number of scenes in this film that really stand out to me as very excellent. And I think as far as action movies, this is exactly my style of action thriller, action movie. And so I think it really holds up well, and I wanted to share it with everyone.
Okay. Before I tell you that you're wrong, what did you think, Nick?
I mean, it's Tom Clancy, which, it felt like he was everywhere in the late 90s, early 2000s. Everything from books to video games like Splinter Cell or End War to just everything. And then, the Cold War basically ended and he just kind of disappeared. So I think it's really nice to watch more Tom Clancy stuff. I haven't seen all of them. I definitely haven't read all of them. I think I tried one and it was super dense and I lost interest immediately. But I've generally enjoyed Tom Clancy movies, although he did disavow the script after reading it, so I don't know how much we can really credit that beyond a rough sort of source material. But no, it's a fun action movie. It does a lot of talking. It's got enough action to keep you invested and interested. A little bit of action at the beginning, a little bit of intrigue in the middle, and a nice flashy and climax there as we have these little model boats that splash around a whole bunch.
Yeah, it's of course, it's like the boat duel at the end of Face Off, except better.
Yeah, and of course, the one thing that anyone remembers about this movie is this is when Sean Bean gets his classic scar when Harrison Ford hits him in the face when he wasn't supposed to with a boat hook.
I did not like this movie. I thought that the first half was pretty impenetrable and boring. And because I didn't care about any of the characters, then the second half was the action in the second half wasn't enough for me to just enjoy it. I kind of this was the most bland, nothing, I don't know. And I just I don't know, I don't even know if I've watched another Harrison Ford Wants His Family Back movie. But as soon as they introduce his wife and daughter, it's okay, when are they going to be put in danger? When are they going to be, try to kill him or try to kidnap him or whatever? And so I just couldn't enjoy a single scene for the first half of the movie because I was okay, let's get to the plot here. I don't know, and Harrison Ford's character he was, I don't know, as much as charismatic and compelling as he was in The Fugitive, this was I don't want to say he was phoning it in either. It wasn't even that he necessarily had a bad performance. It was just it just felt so bland, so generic Harrison Ford. And then I also just don't love military stuff, and this seemed very pro military. Not a lot of nuance there. I don't know. It just didn't. It really really didn't come together for me.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you're definitely wrong. I think Harrison Ford did a great job. One of the things that I particularly like about his two things that I particularly like about his performance in this movie is one, you get the sense very clearly that like Jack Ryan is an analyst, uh, not like a field agent, and
No, that is wrong. The first time we see him do anything, he freaking runs into battle, disarms a guy, shoots 6 guys, and is the most badass action hero ever. Like
well, first of all, he only shoots one guy, uh,
he
and
kills one
and
guy, but he shoots
yeah,
like a bunch of them.
no, there's only
So
like
the
3 guys there.
yeah, so the "you're not a field agent" joke is a recurring thing that happens in all the Jack Ryan movies,
Yeah,
because he is an analyst who doing field agent things. It's the same joke they use in Hunt for Red October. It is just a recurring thing. Like he is playing a very, I mean, he's a Marine lieutenant or
yeah.
whatever, and so he's very competent, but at the same time he's supposed to be playing like this more meek, sort of like more intelligent character. Um, but at the same time, like I kind of get what Kendall's saying, because the Harrison Ford that I enjoy the most is just angry, pissed off, and growly. Uh, and he had moments of it in this one, but like I don't know. I feel like he was definitely like reeling it back a little bit for this part, and I can understand why the classic Harrison Ford people wouldn't necessarily like this one. And
Well,
this
it's
was a
like
year before The Fugitive, so maybe he took some acting lessons. I don't know.
I
But
like I feel like I mean there's people always talk about take Professor Jones's archaeology class. He shows up for the first day and then he goes off on an adventure and you don't have to worry about anything. Like even Indiana Jones, like when he's Indiana Jones, he treads that line between someone who is like extremely intelligent and who is also like physically swashbucklingly competent, but we
Mhm.
don't get the vibe of like other than like there's never it's like anytime he's in an action sequence he is the best action hero, and anytime he is like in the analyst analyzing look at the picture stuff, he's like the most
Okay, but
competent there. The only
but
time there's
his
any doubt is when they're pushing him and he's looking at the satellite imagery and it's like, are you 100% sure? And he's not willing to tell them that he's 100% sure.
but his body count in this movie is like 2. I think he kills
yeah,
like 2 people this movie.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
because
Yeah.
there's hardly any action.
No, 3. He kills 3.
Is there a
He
third
kills
one?
the first guy. He kills. No, I guess the second guy gets lit up by the guards, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So
no,
he
I
kills
guess not.
Yeah. So
No, he kills 3 guys. He kills the one guy. He kills the guy in the sweatshirt, and then he kills
no.
the guy
He
at the
doesn't kill the
end.
guy in the
He
sweatshirt.
fights the guy in the sweatshirt, and then the guards.
Okay,
The
well,
guards shoot
whatever.
him.
Shoot him.
That
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
But
Like
the
that
point
doesn't.
is,
I don't care
what
about the
point I'm
number of
making
people
is-
he kills. He's extremely he's never shown to be. Nobody ever gets a one up on him.
I see. I disagree with that. I feel like, and the body count comes into this because, like, you say he's the most competent hero in every scene, but he's not. Like, Sam Jackson has more kills than he does in this movie. Like, he more relies on like his wits in order to get through these situations rather
But he's
than.
never in any danger. I never felt like he was ever in any danger.
Sure, he is.
I mean, he's being hunted on the streets of his outside his work. I mean,
Exactly.
he's
And
in danger.
and the fact that he's the way that he's playing the character and the way that the character is portrayed, and the fact that the first time we see him he runs into a terrorist attack and is a total badass, and there's never a time when he never loses a fight. That tells me that even though he's being tracked down on the street by IRA terrorists for the whole movie, he's never in any danger.
Now, I think it is worth pointing out that this movie comes out only 2 years after The Hunt for Red October, where he does significantly more analyst things, and it's the same character. So the audience is at least assumed to kind of know what the last movie was. At least in the books, I think this movie happens in the books before the other movie, but because Harrison Ford is older, they actually just moved it back.
So this is
Hunt for
a
Red
so this
October
is
had
a
already happened.
so this is a sequel.
This is a direct sequel to
Okay.
The Hunt for Red October, and Harrison Ford's character is Alec Baldwin in that movie. So
but it's not okay. So but it's not Harrison Ford in that movie.
Right. It's not Harrison Ford. There have been 5 Jack Ryan movies. They're all in the same universe. Harrison Ford has played Jack Ryan twice. It's been a different actor every other time, which makes it difficult if you don't know that it's the Jack Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize it was Jack Ryan until they called him John Ryan. And I was like, oh yeah, he's the guy from The Office. Because that's the only other time I've ever heard of Jack Ryan is that Hulu had a show called Jack Ryan.
I was gonna say that 5 doesn't even include the show. I think that's purely movies.
But so am I supposed to have seen Hunt for Red October in order to understand this movie? Like, is it a sequel or is it a standalone movie?
It is a sequel. It is a sequel, but it's kind of its own standalone thing.
Yeah,
I think
I wouldn't basically
he's supposed to have been like he's a pop culture hero that kind of like you probably had at least heard of this movie and knew who he was supposed to have been. So like I think at this point, like, it's just been so long.
But it's not. Like, I mean, but it's not like James Bond. Or is like is it like James Bond?
I think they were trying to make it. They were trying to make a new American James Bond to a certain extent. A little more intelligent than James Bond.
Well, yes. I'll grant that maybe I should have that I was missing some context, but I mean, but judging the movie as a standalone, like that's kind of where I was at. And I think it actually was, I think the context that I do have where I know I've seen this movie before. Like I've seen the movie where they're hunting him and and you've got the badass action hero who's gonna save the day, and Harrison Ford's family is in danger. Like I've seen the textbook version of the movie, so maybe that was working against me. I've seen the worst version, but even that, we talked about the bad movie, the Amateur. Like even in that movie, like there are a ton of moments where you can tell that he's in a little bit over his head. And I just never got that sense here. I got that. I mean, now I got that he did some stupid stuff, like before confirming that the guy that was out to murder him and traveling the world to murder his family was confirmed dead. He invited the other guy that they wanted to kill over to his house the day that his daughter came back from the hospital. That was pretty dumb, but I mean, I don't know. You guys can talk now. I got my points. I had my say.
It wasn't the best idea, but at the same time, you got to get them all in a room somehow.
Well, I mean, I think the idea was, yeah. I mean, as far as that idea goes, it seems reasonable when you consider the fact that the world is big and it shouldn't be possible for a known terrorist to move around the world with impunity.
But he did already.
Yeah. Before they hit the camp. Yeah, before they hit the camp as well. So speaking of hitting that camp in northern Africa, I think that was one of the scenes that really stood out to me the first time that I watched this movie. Just the way that whole scene is framed, with the uncertainty of whether it was the right camp, and then watching the whole thing just play out very impersonally through the infrared, satellite vision. And it's like, well, you made this decision. These people are being killed because of it. I hope you got it right.
Yeah, I did enjoy like the very low quality images that they were looking at, and they're like the classic CSI enhance, and it's still garbage. But in the early 90s, that would be super high tech, and that's super great resolution at that point.
Yeah, that enhanced that scene where he's like telling the guy to zoom in on the grid and enhance the image and all that stuff is is exactly the same as Blade Runner.
And which also that I would imagine that technology, even though we were watching it and we think it looks dumb, and it's still garbage. I would imagine that still exaggerated how useful that technology even was then.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not tell the first 2 times they looked at that image that it was boobs on the screen. I was like, what are they looking at? What is happening here?
Yeah.
But yeah, it made you like it kind of took you along with him. It's like, well, that's definitely a woman. Is it the woman? I don't know. You just have to
I
make
mean,
the decision with the information that you have.
dressed like that, it's probably not a Middle Eastern woman.
But
in
this
the middle
was
of the Libyan desert.
But this was the part of the. I mean, I will grant you that the scene where they go to the camp and kill everybody and with the infrared and stuff, that was unsettling. And it was I don't know, it was like it was very I'm sure that was actually like a moment that was kind of real, but I just like the plan of like, oh, we're gonna reroute the satellites because they know exactly when the satellites are there and everything.
I mean, that is a very real thing that kind of happens. That is a very that is one of those techniques and like things that like actually happen and is like a known thing. So that's actually one of the more realistic points in the film.
That's one of the things about Tom Clancy as a writer. Like the stuff that he puts in his books have gotten him attention as like, you may have classified information that you're putting in your books and you're under suspicion because of it, but actually he just has really good his really good sources, really good mind for this sort of thing, and
his
he just figures it
technical
out.
details are always very nice.
Right.
His writing otherwise is always maybe
it's just it was just like the way that, I don't know if it was the way they explained it or what, but it was just like it felt very. I mean, you said that his books are real dense. Like this was a thing that like I didn't understand why it didn't work. Like, how did they know that he was doing it, or was he just too slow and they were naturally doing it? And then why'd they kill the book dealer?
Probably just to not leave him behind, although he was just being a pain in the butt. I wasn't entirely clear whether they just didn't want to leave any evidence behind or they were just sick of him and he was annoying them.
But were they leaving?
I think they just wanted to bring him there.
If they were just going to kill him, why'd they bring him all the way there? They could have saved a bunch of gas by just killing him. And then like, I don't know, like as soon as I also just like hate in movies where the bad guys are just all killing each other. Like it just seemed like this was
this movie.
This was just one of those like everybody's a loose end, and so they kill everybody. And it's
that was definitely one of the ways that they expressed how bad the villains were in this, that they were just kind of backstabbing each other, even all the way up to the very end, obviously, where Sean Bean's character murders the other two his co-conspirators. So that
I mean, that's the only reason that Harrison Ford doesn't kill more people is because all the bad guys kill each other.
Killing each other first, yeah.
Like, and not in a superhero way. Like, I don't know. Like, when that happens in a comic book, I kind of like it, but it just like this was, I don't know. It's just like, and I mean, I don't know, I don't know how terrorists work, but like, I kind of also don't care. Like narratively speaking, it's like, if you're constantly killing everybody that's loyal to your cause, then eventually you're going to run out of people loyal to your cause.
Yeah, and there were some complaints at the time about its portrayal of the Irish and the IRA and all that stuff. It was deemed very unflattering by some.
And that's the other thing. I don't even understand. Like, they're not the IRA, or they are.
They were part of the IRA, and then they were too violent for the IRA. The IRA was like, cool it. This isn't even getting us what we want. And they're like, no, we're going to kill more people until they give us what we want. So it would just establish that they were even more hardcore than, at the time, well-known terrorists.
Right.
Like, the group at the time was more known in popular culture, again, just like it was a very hot button topic in the 90s, where now it's gone, essentially.
I mean, I know that the IRA are the thing, but like, I just didn't. It wasn't clear to me what their, like, where it was just that it was just. We're saying that they were just more militant. Like, it wasn't clear to me like what their ultimate goal was. The only time he says their goal is, it's like, we're going to start a war until everybody kills each other except for us. Like that's that's
the
almost a
plan-
direct quote from the movie.
The plan that they said, I think twice, was that they were going to capture the Lord that they were from that they were trying to get the
Member of the
Who,
royal
by the
family.
way, I was rooting
member
for
of
them
the-
to kill him.
the member of the royal family, and then they were going to hold him hostage until they released all the IRA, all the Irish political prisoners.
Uh-huh.
They said that a couple times, including when they're like, "Don't shoot him. We can't ransom a dead body."
Yeah, I remember them saying that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. So that was their stated goal, not like making everyone kill each other, like you said.
Yeah.
Well,
World
no,
War III,
that's
let's
what he
go.
says. He says we're going to start a war, and then everybody's going to kill each other until we're the only ones standing. That's what the main bad guy
he does
says.
Kind of say that he does kind of say that about between the Royal Army and the IRA. He's like, since we weren't there, we'll be the only ones left. Which it's kind of a very backbiting terroristy thing to do, I guess.
I mean,
but...
like like I said, it was just impenetrable. I just didn't pick up a lot of stuff.
Fair.
And it's not like I was watching this on my phone while playing video games or something. I was watching it on a 4K TV 3 feet in front of it with, paying pretty close attention, explaining the plot to my wife. So like I because she was half watching it, so I was trying to keep her up with it, and I still did not get a lot of stuff. So I mean, I guess it's just another reason why I didn't like it, because it's just too twisty turny for me, and again, the action just didn't, like, there wasn't very much action.
Honestly, I thought the action was like in my ideal action film. There were some around this time that I think really typify this, but like a few high impact action scenes where the stakes feel high and the action is interesting rather than just like a lot of shooting. And I think this movie delivered on that very well. How'd you feel about Sean Bean and his Irish accent?
I mean, I didn't really have a problem with it, but I also watched Sharp, and I've seen him do a lot of also terrible accents, so I don't even know anymore. I can't tell.
He did fine.
Sean Bean was the main villain.
Yeah.
He's Sean Miller, yeah.
Yeah,
the
Sean
guy
Miller.
that goes crazy and kills his friends, yeah.
Okay. Well, you got to be more specific.
Yeah,
that's all the bad guys.
There were multiple bad guys killing each other.
Guy.
Yeah. The guy that had the long hair and then the short hair. I didn't notice his accent being particularly bad, but I'm not an expert on Irish accents.
Yeah. I thought you did.
I've heard way worse Irish accents and thought nothing of it.
The important thing is that Sean Bean dies in the end, like all of his films.
I mean,
I actually checked the number earlier today because my wife was curious. It is 24 out of 75 films he dies in.
Oh, really?
1/3 of the time, yeah.
Also, I will also say Sean Bean, I thought, was the guy from Lord of the Rings. So
yeah,
oh, wait, that's the same guy.
Yeah, he's Boromir.
Oh no. Okay. Sorry, I thought he was Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings.
No.
Oh, that's Sean Astin.
Oh, okay, that's probably why. I think probably both of them were in another movie together, and Sean Bean and both of them got killed in it, and somebody said Sean Bean gets killed in everything, and I thought that was Sean Astin. Okay, at least they have the same first name. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I also, like, to me, like, and I mean, this is an angry Irish accent that's good also sounds a little ridiculous to me, but that's probably just because I'm racist. But, like, I mean, so, but the same thing with an angry Southern accent or an angry, British accent or a Cockney accent or an Australian accent or a Kiwi accent, or a New York accent or whatever, anything that's over the top. I think he played the character over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's another thing that was really dumb to me. Like he's just he's obviously high ranked or whatever in this organization, but he's ultimately just one member of the organization, in an organization where anybody who shows any sign of doubt immediately gets killed by gets one in the forehead, and not only do they rescue him out of jail and take him to their base in North Africa, but they also facilitate him flying to the United States to go after a vendetta on this American guy who is on this American tourist who is otherwise no way connected to them. And then and then it doesn't work, and they're like, no, well, we did it once. That was for whatever his name is, but we can't do it a second time. And then they end up doing it a second time. Like,
that's because the primary target is there. But
there's
very little security.
So first of all, I didn't get the sense at all that they facilitated the first hit. He did that kind of like on his own. And then the second one.
There's multiple people involved in the first hit.
Yeah.
How could he have done it on his own? You had the sweatshirt guy. You had his other driver.
Together. But I don't know how they got to.
And then he said, we did that for what's his name, but you can't do it again. Like they definitely let him do it the first time. And they would have had to have facilitated him because he's an international terrorist, and the only way that he would be able to get there and be able to get cronies to work with him would be if he was if they facilitated it. I haven't really let loose on one of these movies in a while, so I'm allowing myself to be rather negative. This was definitely the worst movie that we've watched all year.
You're so wrong. So another thing that I really liked about this movie, as I continue to be positive about it, is
no. I want to hear what Ian thinks the worst movie we watched all year was. Well, I attempt to remember what we've seen now.
Hang on a second. Let me pull up the list.
Yes, please.
Okay, so far this year we have done The Fugitive, Casablanca, Flow, The Apartment, The Wedding Singer. The Wedding Singer is probably the worst movie we've done this year. The Last Action Hero, 3 Days of the Condor, Adaptation, K-Pop Demon Hunters, and then this one.
So this is the only movie that we watched this year that I haven't liked.
Adaptation, yeah.
Like Last Action Hero was kind of what it was. Like yeah. I think it
was.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess this movie also is what it is. It's just what it is something that I don't like. Like it's a 90s action movie. Yeah, with a convoluted pro-military plot. Yeah. Not a fan.
Meanwhile, before the call, Ian's over here telling me to pick other Tom Clancy movies for my pick in a couple months. Yeah. And I was thinking about it. We'll see.
So what I was gonna say, another thing I really like about this movie is honestly like the little domestic scenes with his wife and his daughter are really well done. I think the little girl can act quite well for her age, and she's beating him in Monopoly, and then how it goes back to it for the very final scene of the movie, like you could tell like they're okay, and then I like the little cliffhanger at the end. It's just about like after we've been through this whole ordeal with the action and them getting injured in the car wreck and all this stuff, and now finally the terrorists are dead and everything is resolved, and then they just like throw in this little cliffhanger that's just about like the sex of the baby.
Right, we're all back to the first scene where we're back to the domestic, non-threatened, general happiness.
I just love that, like, it has a cliffhanger ending, but the cliffhanger ending has nothing to do with like the action of the plot, and instead it's just this little domestic scene with his wife and daughter.
Yeah, the daughter does a really good job, actually. Now that you mention it, Usually, little girl actresses annoy the crap out of me in these sorts of films, but she is very non-offensive, and that's a very good thing in a role like this. It's otherwise you end up with like a Dakota, what is it, Dakota Fanning or whatever, with the whole thing is like, how loud can you scream?
I thought her
Was the
performance was
actress.
fine. I thought that the ending was dumb. I thought that I mean I think in a different movie I would have liked it, but I thought that it was
You were checked out and you were just ready for it.
well,
to
no,
end.
it was just like tonally inconsistent from the rest of the movie, and not in a I don't know, it's just like it was just a weird it was just a weird choice. It was like what it was like in, if you ever watched The West Wing, there'll be like these really like serious, intense endings to the episodes, and then it cuts to the credits, and the closing credits of The West Wing are like dee, 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 dee. Like it's like practically like a freeze frame, everybody laugh, like it's the it just completely completely pulls you out of the tone, and I kind of felt like that was
Well, for
I
a
don't know.
normal person who watches this movie and gets to enjoy the characters a little bit more and is a little invested in like that little domestic aspect, I think the ending of the movie really quite well fits in bringing together like the um these thematic components
I don't
of
I don't know that
Jack
anybody on
Ryan
this
and
call I don't know that anybody on this call has the right to say what a normal person would think of this movie.
yeah, I guess.
Ooh. How dare you, sir?
I mean, if any, maybe Nick could because he's married to a normal person. But
yeah.
Okay, so Nick, tell me if you liked the last scene of the movie.
Yeah, I liked it. It was fine.
There we go.
It was a nice kind of like sweet palate cleanser. Like it leaves you feeling like kind of upbeat and a little like less like, oh, I just watched this guy get impaled on a boat hook and now we're just done. Like I mean, yeah, I mean without that like it would just end. Like the story is over, the adventure is over. I mean, you got to have something. I mean, I guess you don't, but I feel like this movie benefited from having something. And just a callback to the opening scene, which was a good scene, so it's fine.
okay, whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm really trying not to be like, but I really do. The more we do,
there's always got to
this is
be
also
one
of
of
these
that's like,
conversations where it's like, not only did I not really like, I came out of the movie being like, I didn't really like that, but now that we're talking about it and like you're saying the things you liked were actively the things that I disliked, and that really I felt were, yeah, just like, I don't know, it's interesting. Like I said, there hasn't been one that's been like this in a while. Like this is the first movie we watched this year that I didn't like. So I'm trying not to, I don't want to be the guy on a podcast that hates the thing, but kind of hate it.
it's fine. Sometimes we have to be me on adaptation.
Adaptation is one of those movies that I think I like less the more I think about it.
Yeah, like
I think
man,
I was largely like neutral to positive during the actual review, but now thinking back, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's just some Nick Cage movie.
I absolutely hate you, but goddamn, do I respect you. But I will never watch that movie again.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I like adaptation. It's funny because it's a movie that when I first watched it, I actually didn't like it that much. But then like I heard people talk about it, and I thought about it more, and the more I thought about it, I liked it. But I also just like, I think it's a movie that's interesting to think about and talk about as more than anything. But yeah.
All right. Well, There's not a whole lot to talk about this early '90s action movie. I mean, it's fairly straightforward. We've gotten lost in the plot. We've talked about the lack of main character kills. Is there anything else anyone wants to say?
Yeah, I think I've mostly gotten through everything
Let me
I
check
wanted
my
to say.
notes.
Um,
Oh, I kept having weird audio stuff that I wasn't sure was part of the film or just the playback that I was watching. It's the sound kept like changing volume levels. I wasn't sure if it was like normalizing constantly, but like just mid music, it would just drop audio levels, and I wasn't sure whether that was part of the film or whether that was like just something that was
What
happening to me.
what service did you watch it on? Because that happened to me too.
Amazon.
Okay, I watched it on Paramount.
So they could
Yeah,
just be part of the film.
yeah, it
Like
might
that just
be.
could have
Yeah,
been a weird choice,
or it
especially
might
in
be.
a pre-digital age where you literally just have a knob.
Yeah, it might be. It might be Roku. It might be Roku. I chalked it up to Roku weirdness. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
so no,
definitely
it happened
noticed
in
that as
a
well.
few different scenes, and it wasn't usually an issue, but it was usually like when it would go from loud to quiet, but like the music would change too, and it was like just kind of weird and annoying. And I was okay, so it might be just part of the film. It could be like a remaster thing. Just one of the few things that was like, this is just technically weird. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'll say that I didn't notice it, but I also watched it on Amazon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was like not as bad as when you get that effect of the quiet talking and the loud music. Like it wasn't bad enough. It was more like I'd be like, that seems kind of quiet. Maybe I should turn the volume up, and I'd reach for the remote, and then it would be louder.
Yeah, and it
But it
would
wouldn't be
sometimes
like
like
so loud
change
that I
back.
just turn it down. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when there was like background audio, like characters talking in the background that clearly was like supposed to be like if you were in a theater, you would have been able to tell what they were saying.
Mm.
But like even with headsets on, like I was like I like it just got kind of weird there and I can't tell what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So like okay, could be streaming, could just be part of the movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, could be the Amazon,
Could
whatever
be a
weird
weird remix
version.
thing or whatever
Amazon
copy
and Paramount have the
they
same
got.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually it's all just somebody taped it off of HBO like
It's a
20 years ago or
rip of a
something.
DVD, of a
Yeah, that's
standard
all they have
definition
left.
DVD or something. Yeah, I mean, because this is, I mean, it's a known movie, but it's not like the most classicest movie ever.
All right.
Yeah, I'm out of everything. I've said everything I have to say. Does anybody else have anything more, or should we go on to what the
So
next month
clearly, what
is?
I'm hearing is that we should watch all 5 of the movies.
I mean, look.
I like Clear and
This
Present
one,
Danger. That's the next one.
I don't think I've seen that one. I think I've never actually watched that one.
I mean, if this movie was better, I probably would have liked it. So like, if I mean, you know, I say that in an obviously I'm speaking subjectively, but like, if there was a little bit more action, or if the plot was a little bit less impenetrable, or if, I mean, or even if Jack Ryan was played as not, you know, not Harrison Ford, like if he was played by somebody else who came across as more of a fish out of water when thrown into a you know, an analyst who is thrown into action, you know, reluctantly or whatever. Like maybe I would like that. So maybe I should watch all the other ones, and you know, like, but also, you know, I'm not going to pick it.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think the only one that I would like. Well, I kind of talked with Ian about this before. There's a very good chance that I will pick another Jack Ryan film, but it is a very specific one, and it has nothing. And it's just because I love the film. It has nothing to do with the rest of them.
All right.
Yeah,
Anything else?
I guess I
Okay.
don't really have anything else to add.
Okay, so I did think about what movie I wanted to watch, and this is a movie I haven't seen. It is, I think Nick Cage is in it.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know whether that's a good sign or a bad sign.
Nick Cage is in it. I haven't seen it. Directed by Osgood Perkins, Tony Perkins's son. I think it's his son. I don't think it's his daughter. I don't know. Long Legs.
I'm sorry, what? What movie?
Long Legs.
It came out last year.
Yes. It was
Why
supposed
did you watch a
to be like
horror
one of the
movie? Oh,
most.
no.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the most disturbing movies of 2024. So
Oh no.
that's what you get.
Oh.
Yeah, Ian, if you keep picking movies that I don't like, I'm gonna pick movies that Nick doesn't like.
All right, we're going full World War II, like 6-hour pick next week or next month.
No, Nick, you're supposed to pick movies that you think Ian won't like.
No.
More,
No.
After
Long Legs, I'm gonna want revenge.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. I feel like I've been watching a lot of horror movies lately, and they're never as disturbing as people say they are. So
I mean, the real problem I have is that even if I can tell, like, in the next 3 seconds there is going to be a jump scare, I am going to feel the full impact of that jump scare. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's a jump scare movie. At horror films.
I don't think it's a jump scare movie. I think it's more of a nightmare fuel movie. But we'll see. I don't know. I only saw some previews that were like didn't tell me anything. I think Nick Cage is in it. I think it's directed by Osgood Perkins. And we'll see what we think about it next week, next year, next month, sometime. We'll see what we think about Long Legs next time on the KendallCast Movie Roundtable. This podcast is a production of the KendallCast Podcast Network. You can support the show for just $2 a month at patreon.com/KendallCast or make a direct donation through the PayPal link at kendallcast.ninja. Every little bit helps.